Welcome back to movingprofessional.com. So in this video I'm going to use myself as a bit of a case study to discuss the propulsion mechanics during gait. I've been having a little bit of left big toe pain as I go through a rollover mechanism during gait, and as I'm exploring different things that make it feel better or worse, the thing that I found the most useful was to try to become a little bit more propulsive on the left leg, which means I want to be a little bit more concentric, or I want to be more in the socket on my left hip when I'm back in this extension position. So to break that down a little bit more, we can think of when I'm here in rollover, yes, I need to have great toe dorsiflexion, but I also need to feel like I have hip extension, internal rotation, and adduction more on this left leg relative to the right. So if I am lacking any of that, what's going to happen is I'm going to be a little bit heavier into the ground on my left foot relative to my right, and I'm not going to be coming off the ground and rolling forward, but I'm going to be more pushing back into the ground and staying heavy on the big toe. So first thing I noticed when I started having more pain is that became something I was trying to compensate around. And I would either turn my foot out and slide through, or when I would actually try to walk with my feet facing forward, it was more painful, and I was actually pushing back more into this leg instead of thinking about pulling up or pulling away from the ground. So the first practice that I was working on was just to go through a slow walking progression where I'm thinking of 3 different positions. So heel strike, where everything is stacked over this leg. Toe feels fine here because I haven't moved to the front of the foot. And then when I put this foot down, I roll over, trying not to be heavy on the toe, but thinking about sucking up through pelvic floor, transverse abdominis, left adductors here, and getting as much of an upward motion into the left as possible while I'm making my right foot heavy into the ground. And then I'm just going to take a few breaths here. So it'll be an inhale. Try to think about reaching my right. Exhale, drawing up through the pelvic floor and engaging the left inner thigh. And I want to think of the inner thigh not as a squeeze here, but an up into the socket type of motion, so that as I would get this rollover, that the motion would be to draw up and pull the foot off the ground instead of staying heavy into the toe. And then I can do that in any position, just to get a sense of the different dynamics. So when I'm in the stance position, I breathe in, feel my feet reach down, exhale, pull up. Now on the right foot, I want to feel as I'm exhaling that I'm trying to get more into the inside part of the foot without totally collapsing. And then when I get to this heel strike, I might feel like I want to inhale and reach the outside of my left heel. So I'm now extending this forward, but I haven't taken the weight off of the right. And then I'm back to rollover again on this right side. So pulling up into, this time, the right inner thigh to make me feel like I'm offloading this back foot. And then we're back to where we started. So stance phase on the left. Heel strike, inhale, reach to the outside of the right heel. And then this is where I have the most symptoms. So it would be, I might have to be a little bit more conscious of drawing up, feeling that inner thigh to see if I can unload the symptom. All right, so sometimes having a symptom can be your best feedback for the cues that you want to use in the moment. We just want to have an awareness of the relationships that can go to offloading the movement without creating a compensation that makes the gait more inefficient. So we could take stress off that big toe by turning the foot out and walking that way. We could stay on the outside of the foot. But now we've lost the kind of natural reciprocal mechanics of gait. So it's a much better strategy to think about using more of your body towards the center when we have a pain down distally in the foot, than trying to just totally change the orientation of the body or shifting our weight off that foot entirely. All right, so that would be just a quick case study on some of the things we can think about right within the gait cycle. If there's a specific pain, in this case it's toe pain as you're rolling over, how can we get off of that? And then how can we look at changing the load that our body is taking while we're walking? If you have any questions, you can comment below. I'll see you next time.